We're just gonna come out. Well, we were gonna do it in our rooms, and then
This sucks.
we don't even know what we're gonna talk about. We're just gonna start doing it.
It looks too staged the way you have it right now.
It doesn't look like that on the thing. I mean, you got to do it semi-staged.
No, it can't be that staged. I mean, it looks literally like you're getting
Look to
interviewed
it though.
I'm telling you, like,
What looks staged about this?
because you're both facing the camera perfectly.
Well, yeah, we're gonna
Everything's-
talk into
I
it.
know, but at the same time, like, you're almost better off to have one GoPro shooting this way, one GoPro shooting this way, and only using one for sound. You see what I'm saying? And then you can use the clips from both.
I was in bed ready to go to sleep,
Yeah.
and he got me to this point. If you want to sit here, you're more than
No,
welcome
you're
to.
good.
And you can go get the other cameras, and I'll go to bed.
No, you're fine, buddy. I was just trying to help.
All right, this is the first one. Low budget.
You better have an intro, you better have a middle, and you better have
Yeah.
an exit. That's all I know.
I don't have either one of them. First episode. This is it. So we might not have anything.
All right.
Bass Angler Therapy.
I need some right now.
It's gonna be. It's
Taking you to bat.
Yeah. Hallman does not want to do this. It's what time is it? It's 10 o'clock Eastern time, so it's only 9 Central. We're used to that.
Yeah.
But we've got woke up at 5:30 this morning to Scott and a bunch of.
Yeah, so I mean, it's our first day. It's our first night sleeping in the house with a production company. Upshaw's did this all last year. This is our first go around, Todd and I. And there's some different elements to the house that everyone's getting adjusted to. One is that Todd's an early riser, and there's no waking
4:55.
him up. Yeah.
4:55 this morning.
So, and I woke up too. I came out of the shower, I think, before everybody else, and people are getting what's it called?
3:55. What's what called?
The wake up call? What's it
Yeah,
called?
it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
basically like where Billy goes around with a camera, or Scott sometimes, and beats on people's doors,
Right.
blows one of those air horns. I mean,
He had some music.
Kinda
He had some music going on with you.
Oh, he's always
What is
got
that,
music. It's ridiculous.
What was it? Yeah.
I just know I came out of the shower and it was. I was wondering what in the hell was going on in the other room, honestly. And
I was gonna warn
I cracked
y'all.
the door and then the camera, and I was like,
I was already awake. It didn't bother me.
But anyway, so we are in Florida for the very first Bassmaster Open.
We're all quitters.
I haven't fished an Open or a Bassmaster event
Quitters.
We're quitters.
in a long time.
I mean, basically, we're
I'm
all
just
starting-
coming back. I'm not a quitter.
Yeah, we're all starting over.
We quit the
basically.
FLW and we're just
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we're just doing this because, like, man, everyone sees fish and stuff, and we're just trying to show a little bit behind the scenes. Not even behind the scenes, but we're going to get into all kinds of stuff. Just the deal is we stay up every night usually, and we get in these talks.
Yep.
And it's either about the day we had, stuff that pisses us off in the industry that we're not allowed to talk about because 2 reasons. Either one, someone seriously, what's it gonna do? You put it on social media and that you got that one guy. Like I said, I'll choose Luke Duncan's, mom's basement kid is in there, yelling at you for something. But we all think it. We just don't. I'm not saying we're gonna say some of this stuff, but we get into some real talks.
Yeah.
And maybe if people might understand like why some of us think the way we do about the industry, because I think the industry.
Well, I think some guys are going to relate more to us than some of the superstars because, I mean, a lot of guys
I'm fishing
know
the
us.
BFL last week.
Right,
You know?
just like last week, and then
Yeah.
you have issues.
Yeah, and I have all these issues.
And you got your camera rolling,
yeah. It's,
and you make a little post on social media. I actually had an FLW tour guy contact me while I was here at Toho, called me and said, "Hey man, what went on with Todd? I heard there were some guys potentially breaking some rules. They were allowed on the water, but they're not allowed to follow anybody." And I said, "I don't think what they were doing was technically following,
maybe
but
not what happened to me.
But what I know is Todd has it all on camera, and I know he's planning on making some posts with it."
I was anti GoPro. I couldn't have been the most anti GoPro person you ever met, and now I think it's the best tool in the world. And this is why. And I tell everyone this because everyone's like, I don't want that thing on my boat. I'm like, dude, it's amazing because what it does is it captures what people do to you on the water.
Yeah.
And what's funny, and I'll explain what happened in this event. I was getting my boat worked on and getting the wrap off. So I was in another boat. So I wasn't even in my boat. So
Incognito.
I was just big time. Like no one knew it was me.
Right.
A lot of times that wrap helps you. People kind of lay off.
Yeah.
I think not having the boat wrap, people have no problem rolling in on you. And so I was on this one spot.
No, wait. You think they come in on you less when you have a wrap boat?
I think they're
more likely to
I think
not
they
come
watch you more. I think they're less likely to do something really stupid.
So when you have the coaster wrap on your boat and you're on Rayburn, you think that they
pay attention to me, but they don't come up on me.
Okay.
Big time, because it had way too many scenarios, like because no one knew it was me, and I'll explain why. So I'm in this BFL and we take off, and I'm boat 226. So
right.
They had 230, I'm 226. So I'm going along. I already knew I don't care about spots. It's a BFL. I practiced one day, whatever. So I just kind of rolled to where no one was at, and I started fishing. It's a big area, but no one was even within 400 yards of me. And so I started fishing, and I'm kind of like, well, I didn't get bit right off the bat. And it was really good on Friday. And I'm watching everyone. There's people around. You can see everyone, and no one's catching anything. Well, I finally start catching one, catch another one, catch a small one, miss one, break off one, whatever. And about an hour into it, which is a long time for me to sit somewhere, like a boat kind of shows up. And I'm like, okay, I'll be honest, it's a Ranger by themselves. And so, like, I want to explain something to y'all. Man, we all pay attention to every boat on the water to a degree. Now, I'm not saying we know who they are, but we just see how people work, right? Within the frame. So you see a guy in the front, you see a guy in the back, chances are that guy's in the BFL,
correct,
boat or co-angler. So you got these other guys showing up with only one person in the boat. And this is Rayburn on a weekend. You can just tell these aren't like local weekenders.
Power poles,
giveaway, and one of them had a sticker on, an FLW sticker.
Six grass.
So yeah,
FLW sticker, dead giveaway.
So he comes rolling in. You got to understand where I'm at is there's nothing around me to fish. It is all just flat of nothingness except kind of where I'm at. And so he kind of comes and he starts seeing me and he starts easing around, and I'm like, he doesn't get close. None of these guys get like that close, but he just starts kind of making this semicircle around me real slow, and I'm like, why? I don't understand why he's doing this, because it's like there's nothing to fish where he's at, so he's just basically wasting time. And then another guy comes in, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's an FLW guy because I've seen him last year. So now this guy's almost made the entire circle. This guy's kind of hanging out almost where you can kind of fish some stuff, and then all of a sudden, like 30 minutes later, and this is when I was like, I'd had enough of this guy. He had just done almost a full circle, throwing at absolutely nothing. And I'm just like, man, you are wasting your practice day. Like, if you see me catch fish, just obviously look where I caught fish. I don't particularly condone this, but I mean, I'm not going to, you can't not do it, but like, okay, he caught fish there, move on. He's practicing for an event 3 weeks away in an area with probably 12 guys that are in the BFL. And I'm not saying he's getting in anybody's way, but I'm just being honest. That's just something I would not do. I would just not try to interfere with someone else trying to fish a tournament. You don't think at the end of the
confrontation, or the end of, not confrontation, but at the end of the deal, that he was too close, not too close?
He was too cast away. And my opinion is this. If I rolled up on Andrew and he's out there fishing, I don't know what that guy's going to do. I don't know how far he's fishing. He might want to be where I'm at.
Right.
So why would I get in a way of a guy fishing a tournament when I'm out 3 weeks away practicing for an event, knowing darn well that in 3 weeks, these guys are going to be like, these locals on Rayburn shouldn't be out here and all, and like it's the same thing. Like, but I ain't gonna lie, fishermen are some of the biggest hypocrites you've ever met. Like, they just don't think.
Right.
And the last guy pulls up, and he makes a straight line, V-line straight towards me. And he is 100% FLW guy, boat wrapped. I know exactly who he is. And he's throwing, like, at my boat in a V, like, gets off pad and just starts trolling motor right towards me. And that's when I finally I had had enough. And I looped and drove by him, and I just wanted everyone on camera to see who was all around me. And I made a post that night. Yep. And that guy messaged me later, and the message was horrible. I don't mind sharing it. It was like, hey, I didn't know that was you. I was just fishing that drain and minding my own business, and until you idled by me, I didn't know. And I was like,
okay, so I got to stop you.
There's a lot wrong with that whole thing.
Well, the first one off the bat is, I don't know who you are. I didn't know it was you. Why does it matter who it was?
Doesn't matter.
It shouldn't have mattered if it was whoever.
Whoever.
Fun fishing. What? I mean, there's no point.
There's no point.
None.
So,
Zero.
So if y'all learn anything from this, is go find your own fish. You don't have to. I mean,
everything's situational. So
everything's situational.
FLW tours practices used to start on Sunday. A lot of guys didn't like it. Some guys did like it. The bad part of it is that we would end up on lakes 1,000 miles away from home on a Sunday, and a lot of times there's tournaments going on.
Yeah.
And everybody handles that differently with locals on the water. But if you're in an area and you're fishing and a boat pulls in and they go to catching them,
but it's all situational.
It's situational. You see it. But let me say the way to handle it.
Yeah.
The way of handling it is, they're weekend guys. They're fishing for the weekend. They're fishing a tournament. Give them their space.
They're going to be gone in less than a day.
They might have pulled in between you and 6 other of your competitors, and all 6 of you saw it, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's if you're in our official practice, or what we used to. Right. That would be 3 days. You know, that is what it is. Like we have 3 days, and we got to go find them, no matter what's going on.
I kind of understand that, and I still try to stay away from people.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, but man, we all knew what I knew what he was
I see
doing.
your point. You're saying 3 weeks. You're looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And then he told someone later, because he came up and told me. Another guy was like, that guy was like, hey, I saw where Todd started in that BFL, blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's fine if you start there. If you're not smart enough to see me 200 yards off and know where I'm fishing, that you have to come up that close and fish around me.
Yeah. I mean, with maps being what they are today,
Dude, you can go by at 30 miles an hour and tell ballpark where they are in line with that trailer park that's sitting up on the bank, and come back the next day when no one's there.
When no one's there.
That's right.
When no one's there.
And then you don't look as like as big a piece of crap.
Yeah, and I was like, but then he apologized.
But also, there's 7 or 8 boats there with you.
No.
You're there all by your life.
I was by myself, and I had 3 of them circling me pretty far away. But my point was too is like, the one thing, like I said, I didn't know it was you. Like, that was an excuse.
Yeah, it's a bad excuse.
And then the next one was I was just following this drain up.
There's no drain.
It's a flat.
It's a flat
with no grass.
So he's lying about that. I mean, I already wrote him off. I'm like, hey man, you can't. To me, you do that one time. That's not unintentional, right? And so like, I already marked him off. Like that's who he is. And I get it. And that's no big deal. And he might not understand. And I don't expect everyone to understand this. And let me say this too.
I can also say, shooting this video right now, I don't even know who the guy is.
No, I
haven't asked the name.
Right, and let me say, this is tournament guy. This is between tournament guy and tournament guy. And I preface that by saying, this is not the weekend angler out there. If the weekend angler wants to do that to me, zero problem.
Oh yeah. Somebody's not a tournament.
Yeah. Like
they don't understand.
If you're just a fisherman, he's got one day to fish, maybe with his kids or whatever.
Right. He doesn't have to give you leeway.
He doesn't have to give me leeway or whatever. I'm talking about a guy who's fishing a tournament as a pro, and I'm gonna put that. And he knows better, and he's wanting that same respect in 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's wanting
the
same
respect. But he doesn't give it to a BFL guy.
Right. Got to give it to earn it.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because in that comment it was like, I didn't know who you were. Oh, so you're. To me, it looked like we're better than BFL guys, so we can do stuff like this because we're fishing the tour. And I've always hated that mentality of like, we're fishing a bigger tournament or we're big. No, man, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was.
That's right. That's right.
So that's the kind of stuff that, like, man, we as fishermen, we get out here and we were telling these stories. I mean, we tell these stories all the time, and it happens. And I got these stupid videos. I haven't even showed you the other video of the guy. This is going to be the best one too.
Well, the cameras may change because everybody's shooting footage all the time now. I mean, I've got one rolling every day. I practice.
Yeah.
I did miss the guy pulling the shotgun on me in Las Vegas, and that was a bad deal because I mean, I had a guy literally pull a gun on me while I was on the lake, and it was. Oh yeah, he looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's all tatted. Dude, the guy was for real. But for the one day, I didn't have my camera rolling. I mean, like I'm rolling all the time, and I hear, "Hey man, you got 3 seconds to move on out of here," and you look, and he's right. He would have been right in the camera, the old shotgun over his shoulder, and he was.
You don't know about that. Well,
so you need to keep the camera rolling.
Yeah, I keep it rolling. Well, like later on, like I went to another spot, pulled up to the third spot I went to. It is a stupid. I hadn't caught fish out here in years, and I mean it was kind of tough. So I just wanted to be able to catch a limit, and there were some fish out there really, really deep, drop shotting. So I did idle over. Usually I don't even idle over stuff. I just start fishing, but I wanted to make sure they were there, and I see them, and so I'm like. And I got the video too. You can hear that beep, like you can hear me waypoint them, and I just do this little circle. And as I'm doing the circle, I don't take off like I'm gonna come back. I literally waypoint and start turning. And you can see my boat turn. And as it turns, I'm just gonna line up. A boat shuts down. It comes right over where, like you can see the backwash, and he idles right where I just was, and then throws off his life jacket and throws behind the boat. And I'm literally 20 feet away, and I go. And I was like, I guess I'm not going to fish this, even though I was here first. And I idle right past him. My calling there, I'm not going to mention. He's been fishing forever. He just looked at me and he was like, "How did you not say anything?" I'm like, "Dude, this is Rayburn, and I've been used to this now so long. I don't even know what to say anymore." Because I was like, if I have to say something to that dude, it's not even worth. He had a full rap. He's on video. Like I said, I'm gonna video everyone and just post them. And if people get mad, I don't really care anymore because I'm just like, you wanna be on video? Do stupid stuff.
Well, and to preface it though, I mean, and I think we don't want the point to get lost here. I mean, we kind of hold each other like what you consider a professional angler or somebody that's done it at a higher level of.
I'm just talking like my dad taught me this when we were crappie fishing, dude.
I agree.
This is common damn sense.
But I mean,
this ain't no professional.
These guys are so hypocritical because they're like, "Oh, well, this guy cut me off during official practice, blah blah blah," and yet you're gonna go do this.
Dude, I can remember being 7 years old, sitting in freaking East Tennessee on the side of a mountain, in a John boat with Watts Bar Lake laid out there, and a guy pulls in 45 yards down the bank from us. There's nobody else on the entire lake on a Saturday, and my dad is upset. And I mean, I'm talking like Tommy Biffle.
Short.
Yeah.
Short.
Did he have the shorts up
yeah,
here?
I'm sure.
Mad.
In those days.
The
And turned to me and say, "Son, don't you ever pull." He could have gone behind us and fished the whole 3 miles, but don't pull in front of somebody.
Yeah, that ain't right.
So it's not a
and it's hard,
DFL or
it's hard sometimes because like people's expectations are different, but like but it's weird how we all talk the same, but yet there's still a whole bunch of people doing certain things.
I mean, just like today. Like,
dude, you don't know about this.
I had a professional angler that fishes at a high level.
MLF.
I'm not going to say what organization he fishes for.
MLF.
But I'm fishing a set of arrowheads. And if you don't know what arrowhead is, it's a type of grass that grows right up on the bank. Fish spawn right on them. Okay.
It's also called mother-in-law tongue. Don't know why that is, but they are kind of pointed and sharp on the edges.
Yeah, that is the other name for them. But I'm sitting here fishing this deal, and I'm flipping this. You know, I'm kind of working down this bank. I sit down, I start retying. I look up, and I see this boat coming. And they're going like 70 miles an hour. And they're running right down the arrowheads.
The inside lane?
No, there's no inside. It's wide open.
Arrowheads are
I was about to say
arrowheads. Shallow.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're a foot from the bank.
Okay, we'll just lay this out. There's arrowheads. There's me. There's 75 to 80 yards of open lake with nothing, and then an outside pad line.
You didn't tell me he did. He did inside?
No, he ran right next to me, just outside of my boat. about within a true flip away
waved
from my
at
boat,
you.
and waved at me.
And waved at you.
And waved at me. And I'm like, are you...
Did you wave back?
Heck no, I didn't.
I would have waved back.
You know who
it
it
was-
is.
Give him the old
You
number.
know who
one.
it is.
Well, it's
I'm
not.
just like...
I don't know
I
who
mean,
it is.
but
I haven't
the
heard the
thing-
story.
yeah, but
you know who it is.
It's just the fact that, like, come on, guys. Like, you've got 80 yards.
And he didn't know. Now, granted, if y'all see this on
More.
the lake, there's a good chance I'm doing this to you on purpose.
Well, yeah, but
But
like...
I know you.
Yeah, this guy does not know me.
Yeah, if I
Right.
see you in the airheads tomorrow, dude, you're gonna
yeah,
get,
you're
get
gonna,
a flyby.
you're gonna get a flyby
But
for
I'm
sure.
just like...
And we're gonna
come
get a
on,
phone
man.
call.
And that one sucked. And don't get me wrong, like, that's, like, you don't do that. It's not safe, first
not.
off.
It's not safe.
Especially going 70 miles an
A
hour.
stick, a weed, a
Anything.
lily pad, an alligator.
I mean, when you're running a flip away from somebody 70 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and there's not a boat lane. Like, it's one thing. Like, I fished on Toledo Bend, and if you're fishing in the boat lane, you're just fair game. You're just going to have people
That's
run by
right.
you.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
But the lake
Tell-
wasn't rough.
Toho is great. Kissimmee, Toho, just if y'all haven't known, we should put our videos up because I'm sure it never looks. I don't think I run open water ever.
No.
Like you just run
Everything.
weed line. Like there's just
Well, right now,
it's
especially
crazy.
because it's high, so like there's no sticks or anything.
Yeah, so
stuck
we
in the
just run in
weeds, so
between like
no
like,
mud tussocks.
Oh yeah, it's just you just run it.
I did hit a mud tussock
I did
today.
too.
Did you? Oh,
Smoke that son gun.
I wouldn't even know what a mud tussock was if I hadn't watched JT.
if you hadn't watched JT, yeah.
Mud tussock.
But, I mean, it's just like thinking about others is like completely gone out the window for people.
yeah, I wonder what the guy's hurry was. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
practice day, dude. I mean, matter of fact, it's the very first day. It's like day one, 3 days practice.
Yeah, and so I don't.
What's the
I
hurry?
don't understand. Like, and I get it. Like,
Maybe he forgot his lunch.
He
no,
might not have. Oh no, he did see.
no,
waved
he
at you.
100% saw me. He
I
waved
get it. I get
20 yards before he got to me.
Wave. Was it like a
Yeah.
this or was it?
Did he gump wave you? Did he gump wave you?
Or was
Hey,
it just
no,
the-
it wasn't. No,
was it
only
the
friends.
Was it the Dale
Only
Earnhardt?
friends.
No, it was like,
You know the gump wave, right?
What's the gump wave? Yeah.
We've been doing that for
Yeah, years.
years,
That's
man.
years.
Just drive right by someone, especially when they have a coiner in there and you're doing this. You can tell that coiner's like, why's that guy waving like
well,
that?
yeah, he's kind of looking a little weird. Every time.
And yeah, I mean, you're driving 50 and you're just like this, not even looking where you're going, just doing this deal.
See, and my co-anglers are always in my boat, and I'll do it while I pass Todd, and they're like, "Are y'all like friends or something?" Like they don't know it's
Don't even
Todd,
say
or what,
nothing,
and I'm
yeah.
like, "Hey."
That's pretty stupid.
But yeah, and the other thing, and so the running by is dumb. Don't do that. But like, and I didn't deal with it at FLW. Like I'm just telling you straight up. Like I rarely got cut off. I rarely had people. This is a whole new animal.
I was shocked about FLW when I got there. I ain't gonna lie. Like I was. Now I never got into the whole.
We were talking about this last night.
Right, but I never got into the whole Florida thing with the big
Group of
groups and
boats.
stuff because I didn't like that. But down a bank type stuff.
So as Todd wanted
Never.
to get off on this tangent, we actually talked about it some before. Decided to sit here and talk about this in front of the camera, but dude, for the most part, I mean, we'll all agree that 99.9% of the time, everybody's great and easy to get along with.
Yeah.
Like it's not an
That-
overblown
well, that's
problem
what's-
everyday issue.
That's what sucks is like you said,
It really is most of the time pretty good.
You
I
get-
think some good guys sometimes have a second lapse of judgment,
yeah.
and they even themselves probably, like the guy that drove by you today, probably went, "Damn, that's pretty close." I mean, he'd probably been running 70. Potentially he could have been running 70 for 5 miles or something, and it just got up on him. You ever notice, like, whenever you're kicking it down a lake and then you pull into an area, you're like, man, I mean, it feels like you slowed down, but you're still like running 50.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, you're
And
like,
everyone kind of
"Whoa!"
looks at you. Everyone kind of looks at you like, I
Yeah,
came a
yeah.
little hot on that.
Yeah.
Like
Settle
you
down there,
pulled a
Tony.
full Charlie Evans. Is that what
Well,
you're
because
saying?
you got to think about it too. Is you're driving and you're not paying. You're whatever. But there's like 6 boats and it's dead silent in there, right?
Right.
And so like when you shut down, like you're the only one making noise, and everyone's like, "What's this guy about to do?"
So I think everybody kind of makes a lapse in judgment sometimes, and maybe, the some of the stories we hear is just that guy that usually 99% of the time does the right thing. He just didn't realize the situation at the time when he rolled through.
Well, that's the bad part is 90% of the guys are doing the right thing.
That's what-
90% of the encounters you have in the water are pretty good.
Right.
It's just that one, and I just don't think they see it from your point of view. Now, then you got the guys that just don't know anything.
No, but see, you can't like.
No. I'm not talking any tournament guys. I'm talking about some other guys that like some of these guys that
if
do
I have
stuff.
somebody goes over my line in a pontoon boat and they're all waving and they're super happy, it's hard for me to get mad because they have no earthly idea
Okay, I got
what's going on.
Got a story. Pontoon boat was.
I got one better.
This is a BASS
I can't wait to hear this.
Not trying to one up.
No. I got one. I got you.
I was having a really good tournament. This has been quite some time ago, so I'm not going to say when to show my age, but this has been a while ago. But I think I was leading the event on Lake Norfolk. Imagine that.
That had to be a PAA.
It was a BASS Open.
Oh, was it? Was it an open?
It was an open.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, sitting out on this spot, and I'm catching them like 35, 30 to 40 foot deep, honestly, on a jig. And the bite's pretty good. Anyway, I pull up on this spot, smallmouth spot, and it's out in the middle, like 40 foot would be. And we're out there fishing, and my co-anglers, both of us got our lines fired out there, you know. We hadn't had a bite. We've been there about 10 minutes, you know. And I'm like, man, usually they bite like right as soon as you get here. And nothing's happening, you know. And we're sitting out there, our lines are out there, and we're all kicked back. And here comes a pontoon boat loaded down, you know, just like what you're talking about. And they're waving at me. They ran right over our fishing lines, right out the cove. And my co-angler, he just goes berserk. Throws his rod down, starts yelling, screaming, you know, and I'm like, hey man, settle down. They don't know what they're doing. They're just out here having fun. I was like, dude, those fish are 35 foot down there. They don't care about that boat running over them. And as I'm trying to explain it to him, I feel my jig go thunk. I was like, hey, get the net, I got one. He nets it, and he's like, and this is a place you don't get a bite. Like Norfolk is a gar hole, especially in September. Anyway, we net it, put it in the boat. It's a nice smallmouth, put it in the live well. That pontoon boat turns around. Here it comes again. This time my co-angler's going, come on. They run back over the line, and he starts griping again. And I was like, hey, dude, could have been why we got bit was because of that boat. And he's like, you're right. I'm not going to put my rod down. Guess what happened?
Go on.
We both got bit. Yep.
I don't have story. Mine's on Kentucky Lake. Imagine that. And it's not the Kentucky Lake story. That's for another story. Yeah, I love Kentucky Lake. We're on Kentucky Lake, and I'm down there by Paris. So if I can tell everyone where it's at. You is it Cedar Creek? It's the biggest creek down there, right?
Oh, that's
what's that? Is it Cedar?
No.
Cypress.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not Sandy.
I thought you. That's the biggest creek down there.
The one. It runs south to north, right? Like the lake does. So it would be whatever it is. The one towards the north side of it.
The Blood River?
Yeah. Go that way, but like way before that. Anyways, long story. The reason is there's a big pole out in front of it, right? That marks off that big marks off that big giant flat thing. What are you shoal?
Yeah.
And then they got that big giant pole. I mean, it sticks out there, and it marks it marks the. I don't want to say the channel, but you run to this side of the pole. Well, from there to the other side, that creek is quarter mile. Like you can run all of it. You just don't run, whatever. So I'm kind of fairly close to the pole for whatever reason, and I'm messing around, whatever. So I mean, I can flip to the pole. It's probably from here to that door there. What is that? 25 feet. So this pontoon comes. This older guy and woman. There's like 4 of them in there, and they're coming. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I'm on the phone with Russell. I remember this distinctly because I'm on the phone with Russell.
I knew Russell would come
Yeah,
up.
I'm on the phone with Russell, and I'm like, oh, Russell, there ain't no way. And I had my rod in my hand, and I was like, and so I was like, hold on, and I'm trying to figure out how to record because even my GoPro's like facing this way, like so they're gonna go sideways. I'm like, and I realized later you can't record while you're on the phone. You can take pictures, but you can't record.
Yeah.
So here comes this pontoon boat, and I'm like, you're never gonna believe this, dude. Here he comes, Russell. I'm telling you, dude. The dude's 10 feet from me. He's gonna be going 30 miles, 10 feet from me. He was not 10 feet. He was 5. He came by and I reached out with my rod, and hit his boat. Like it hit. I'm surprised I didn't break my rod. And the guy, oh, it don't matter. The guy was like, "You come on." And the guy was like, I was like, "What are you doing?" And I forgot who was with me. And I think a co-worker was with me. And they go, she goes, she's right there. She's like, you're in the boat lane. And I'm like, the boat lane's that whole thing. Like, there's no boat lane. It's like, this is just a marker not to go. And they ran in between, like, my
coming
rod.
off pad, island by.
No, 30 miles an hour, dude. Never let up. And so I was like, that was probably the worst. I touched them with my rod. And found out later that whoever I was talking to about it, they ended up doing something else to someone else.
Yeah.
And they called him in, and the guy got a ticket, not from my deal, from they ran in between some other fishermen, so close, and everyone saw it, and they called the cops, and they got a ticket. They came and found him.
All right, I got a question. Since Brandon came out here, it made me think of the camera guy. Is this whole film going to be at a 45-degree angle?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It looks awesome.
All right, just check it.
It's really not that bad. It straightens it out. Like, I already looked at it. It just looks fun.
All right.
I promise I looked at it.
Okay.
It's looks a little crooked.
All right.
What are you doing?
I was going to show y'all a video. I didn't know y'all.
Hey, is it a big deal to have
we
your
can
camera at a
stop this, it don't
45-degree
matter.
angle?
Oh, no, you're good.
Hey, seriously,
What?
is it favorable to have your camera at a 45-degree angle?
It doesn't matter. You can zoom in and crop it and rotate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
He's in the traffic road. Sounds
Yeah,
exactly
wait, like, you just went.
I was like, wait, I gotta zoom in. What?
My iPad won't do
I'm
that.
good. I'm good.
I
I'm
tried
good.
to do that on
Hey,
Instagram and it
Hey,
wouldn't work.
man, people be watching YouTube like this, man. It's fine. Just like that.
All right. Let's go to bed. You got something else?
Yeah, talk about fishing.
Fishing sucks. Sucked even worse. It sucked, and then each day it's gotten a little better to where actually, I think everyone in the house came home in tonight and was like, "All right, I can catch a bass."
Yeah, y'all have to. Y'all won't see it this video, but like I said, this is gonna be called Bass Anger Therapy.
Yeah, last night we all needed it.
We all
Yeah.
take a little bass
Yeah.
fishing. You will see us get angry, and we need some therapy. And let me tell you something. One of us in this house usually walks through that door,
Yes.
and it is the world's gonna end. I'm done. Like there.
And it's worse because it's like it's not typically Hallman, but
It's
like
typically Hallman.
he has a bad practice and he goes and blasts.
Yeah,
him.
he'll blast him in the tournament.
Yeah, but he'll be like, I'll be like, yeah, I had
I
like
wanna
15 bites, and Tom will be like, yeah, I had like 18 bites,
I
and
had
then
like 2.
and Holmes like, and he's just like looks at you like,
He does have the best practices. I'm gonna tell you. You
Upshaw?
can.
yeah,
I don't know if you've had them. I'm just saying you say you've had them.
yeah. No, I don't have them. I just like saying it.
Yeah.
I like to get
But
under Holmes.
it is like if. Oh, so here's the deal. So, we're all we throw this out there. So Bassmaster. So we're all rooming with Scott and his 14 cameramen and everything else going on, right? And so this is a weird deal because FLW, when we fished it all, it was standard. You know, we're gonna get there on Saturday,
Right.
practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off day, Wednesday. Everything's planned out. Well, here, you can do whatever you want to,
Yeah, it's
right?
free for all.
You can go 2 weeks. So we were trying to figure out how we're all gonna practice.
Yeah.
How many days we're gonna stay, you know, when we rent houses, all these things.
I think it'll be 3 or 4 days of practice. Will be pretty well
Yeah,
standard
yeah.
from
See,
here going forward.
that's ridiculous.
Like this was January. We were already
Yeah. See, that's what I want to say. So we had all
now
planned
we've all
it out.
now we've all been here too long.
And so so I'm at home getting ready to leave on a Friday or get here on a you know, and Hallman calls me up. He's like, I'm staying with a buddy down there Monday. I'm like, Monday? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I'm like, what are you? He's like, I got nothing else to do. Then Andrew calls me. He's like, Tuesday. He's like, I got to drive my wife down there for something. And there's no reason for me to come back, really. So I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Hey, here's a good story. Here's another story.
well, hold on.
Listen, you can come right back to it.
I won't forget.
So right, well, none of us have talked when we're leaving or nothing, right?
Yeah,
Except you
y'all-
were calling one another.
Yeah. I'm the only one on schedule.
I am driving down I-10. You come anytime you want. it's 1,000 miles or maybe more than 1,000 miles between here and Oklahoma City. I'm driving down I-10, just tootling along. Got the music up. Sunny out. It's warm outside. Cold front's coming to the house, fixing to kill them. Snow and ice.
Yeah, we left that.
There's a boat in front of me. I got the cruise control set at 80. I'm passing them, you know. It's just like on the water, you know. Pass them one legend at a time, or building one legend at a time. Passing one legend at a time. Anyway. Anyway.
It was cool when he thought it.
I'm coming up on this boat, and I'm like, it's a bass cat. I can tell it's a bass cat. Like, it could be some guy going fishing right there in Louisiana or wherever it is I'm at on I-10. Get a little closer, and he's got, like, racks with rod pipes on top, you know. I'm like, that guy's pretty serious, you know. Come right up on him, you know. I get in the turn lane. I start pulling on up beside him. Damn, he's got a rat and everything. I look over, and I'm like, Strike King lose.
Upshaw.
That's my roommate.
A week early.
Yeah. Like,
y'all hadn't even talked.
We hadn't talked. Nothing.
Just passed him in that 1,000 miles of all the minutes to be cruising down the interstate.
And he didn't even know it was me until he looked in the window and saw me.
I was like, oh my God.
We see, now I gotta tell this story. This is the best. Me and Russ were driving to. It was weird too, because wherever he was going was not the same place we were going. I couldn't even tell you what state I'm in. So we're driving, and Russell's behind me, and we're driving on a highway. There's no one on this highway. And we're driving along, and I'm like, hey, dude, who's this in front of us? You know, same deal, right? You could tell. And I mean, and when I tell you who it is, you could tell this is a pro fisherman. So we're getting up behind him, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know who this is. I know who this is. I'm like, all right. And so you just it's the middle of wintertime. It's like 30 degrees outside. And this is going to, like, if y'all don't understand this, I'm sorry, but y'all just have to, it's not that big of an inside joke. If anyone pays attention to Instagram or Facebook, you'll know. And I see, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I start taking my jacket off. I take all my shirts off. Like, so I have, like, and I roll down the window, and I'm shirtless. It's Watson. And he's always jacking with me about being like shirtless, right? So it's 30 degrees outside. I have no shirt on, and I have my side mirror and sun window down, and it's just freezing. I just pull up to him, and like you just gotta see, like I'm just like this, just driving, no shirt on, windows down, 30 degrees outside, just like, you know. And he looks over and he's like, ah, you know how he does, and he freaks out. And he's freaking out, and he's like trying to get his phone out to video, and he does. He starts videoing it, and then we pass along. I was cold for like the next 45 minutes, but Watson was like, "You just shirtless." No, he's always doing it. I don't even remember where. See, I knew if we got off. I know. I started. It doesn't matter. I
was going to let you get right back to it. We're talking about traveling down here.
The whole traveling deal.
Deals. Yeah, how many days we're going to practice?
I see. I don't even remember where I was going, but what I was going to say is, we all get here.
Did you know where you were going before?
Yeah. Well, I was talking about how, like, you're going to see us because I was jacked. Y'all been down here for a couple days.
Yes.
And last year,
Todd's the slacker coming in late, and he's fired up on the phone.
Fired up. Listen,
he's ready to take on the world.
I looked at the weather. It's 85 degrees down here every day. They're going to be on beds. I'm going to crush them in my head. And so, and I kind of knew, I'm like, okay, I kind of know what went on last year. I got all these spots no one knows about where they spawn. I got all this grass. Now I don't have to go look for 3 days. I can just go fish for most of the time and look and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty pumped up to get down here. And I went out there on day one. I think I had a bite on my second cast. That's a maybe. I don't know if I actually had one on. And I had two bites the rest of the day in 10 hours. I guarantee both of them were about this big. And I came in and
so Todd's driving and we're telling him, he's calling Upshaw. Then he calls me and he's like, yeah, I was on the phone with Andrew yesterday for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, it's easy to do down here. He goes, why is that? And I was like, because we're not getting any bites, bro. Like, talking to you for an hour and a half's no big deal.
Well, I talked to you one time at like 10. He was like, yeah, I've had like 3 bites today. I'm like, all right. At the end of the day, I'm like, how'd you? He's like, I had 3 bites. I'm like, yeah, I know, but after that, I had 3 bites.
Yeah.
And I was like, so the next 6 hours I never had a bite. And I'm like, and it's amazing. Like, people don't understand, like, y'all, like, we might go crush them in this tournament, but man, like,
Oh, everybody understands. It's just like, when you
I
get all
know,
excited and
but,
go fishing, when you get off work and you get there, and then
some of these
it's not as
places,
good
when
as-
we get the Grand was like that, Cumberland was like that a little bit for you. You know, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you'll know, you can tell too, because everyone has their own way of dealing with it. Yeah. Y'all,
it was for me.
that was a weird event, because horrible event, pretty good practice, wins the event. I mean, our whole house was all freaking jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
But you get these like deals, man, and it's you'll see some guy, and I was bad at it. My first tour event was when we went to Okeechobee. Dude, I probably had no more than 2 bites a day for the first 2 days, and on day 3 at 12 o'clock I had 0. So I'd have 2 to 3 bites on Okeechobee in 2.5 days. Think
I
about
believe
that.
it though.
I know, but that place has got him. And then all of a sudden, at 12:30, I rolled into this little place. And it was like, bite. And I ended up freaking cashing a big check. But it was crazy. Like, my first ever tour event, and I'm just like, for 2.5 days, I was probably miserable. I'm surprised, Russell. Like, and I don't get too down. Dude, I was down. I'm like, I thought I could fish.
Yeah.
Oh, I have those moments a lot. And I know it might not
And
sound like that.
Yeah.
But like, you get out there and you get on a place, especially because we all have bad
a good
days.
place. We're a good lake.
Yeah, and you have one of those days like at Grand Lake, and I'm not saying Grand's kind of been off, but I seriously went out last year and had a day where I did not get a bite.
You weren't the only one. A lot of people did that.
Actually, and one of the other days I only had 1 bite, and I mean, like, when you're talking about spending $5,000 entry fee at the time.
Yeah.
And you go for 2 of your 3 days, and you get
and
one
it's not
bite.
just that one turn. And let me explain something to y'all.
Bad.
We just to get this perspective, if y'all are still watching this, which probably not. we just
I wouldn't be.
yeah, we just quit, and I say quit jokingly. We just quit the FLW tour, right, to come try to qualify for the elites. And we were joking about this last night, dude. You kind of mess up on this one.
Well, the
You know
person
what
that
I'm
broke
saying?
it down right, and
I don't know
know,
if they, I don't know if they understand what we're talking about.
But
Like,
I don't know the guy well. I don't know him at all actually. But Hunter Shyrock, he made a video series before he made the elites this past year,
he put the numbers on it.
and it was 27 days is whatever and he said that you couldn't have a bad day to make the elite series. You have to have a good day every single day of every event that you fish.
Okay.
You can't have a bad day.
I totally agree.
You can have an
And
okay day.
You can have an okay
But I
day. You
disagree.
can't have a bad day.
So here's the breaker, and this is what I explained to Todd last night. He
This
said,
is-
if we just get out there the first day of this derby and it goes south, and we're in and there's
I can't wait
225
to
boats,
see
and
you.
you're in 280th place or 225th place.
We
You're
put
out.
you in 280
Like your
sometimes.
whole season's gone. Like the whole Eastern Division's gone. Well, believe me, I've already thought about finishing 225th and how I finished the Eastern.
Because we can do that.
It's still doable. So
It's
here's
Florida.
how it's doable.
It is Florida.
No,
It's very doable.
Yeah.
You want to know how?
You're missing it.
You are missing it. I've already done the math on it. Actually, my
There's
wife
no
pointed
math.
it out to me.
There's only one formula.
It's one formula. Win. So what happens if you win the next one?
Classic.
What happens if you win the Classic?
You in.
Yeah.
Qualify for the Elite Series.
Yeah, well,
Bing.
there you
See,
go.
it
then.
ain't over.
Woo.
And I was like, okay, so I'm out.
Yeah, you're like, that's like.
It's amazing. It's all how you look at it. To
No.
me, that sounds like an easier mountain than finishing first in the points out 225.
See, no, yeah. But see, the way
Much
that
easier.
But
My
see,
God.
the Opens this year it's actually pretty cool, though. So it's 4 from each division and then 4 from both divisions
Listen.
combined. So that changes the game a little bit, changes the math up a little bit, because somebody could finish technically like 9th, 10th, 11th.
So, there's a good chance someone
It's
in
an
our
average.
deal finishes in the top 4 in both Eastern and Central and in the overall, which creates more spots.
Yep.
There's a good chance an elite does it. There's a good chance some other, like, to where they might have to actually go down a spot or two way more, just because of the way there's going to be some weird math, guaranteed. That someone does a double qualifies, or someone 100% is going to double qualify. In the sense of, you're going to qualify in the Centrals, and then in the overall deal. And I don't know which one they're going to pick and go down. Like, are they going to go down the overall or just the Centrals? But...
Well, see, that's my question. So,
regardless...
I like my plan better. Just win them both.
Yeah, but we cannot have... like.
I like living in the real world while you're living over there.
You can stumble. You can come in dead last in a tour event.
Seriously, you're talking about catching them for 6 days. Really, probably only 4, because you're going to blast them and freak show it a couple of days, and then you're just going to hang on.
Well, if we're actually being technical, and I'm going to be technical here, and I'm going to debunk your whole logic right now. Okay, so say for instance, we win a tournament, we make the Classic.
Yep.
Well, the Classic doesn't roll around until the next year.
Yeah, you have a year off.
So you actually have a full year. So technically, you
We're
can still
almost February
qualify.
right now. You're looking at almost 12 months, and you'd be qualified.
Yeah, technically.
It's the first tournament of the year too, so you would go ahead and roll into 2021 just the same as all the top AOY finishers that sit out there and caught their limits.
No, because you'd have to actually win the Classic to make it.
Yeah, that'd be in March.
Yeah, and that would be in March,
it's
and
not
you'd
the
already
first tournament
win.
of the year?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
In years previous, it was the very first one to start the year
now
off.
there's like 2 or 3 in front of it.
Yep. So
It like I said, either way, you roll down here for, like, we just quit everything we just did on a chance to qualify for the elites, and you roll down here on day 1 and get 1 or 2 bites, and you're sitting here going,
That's fact.
what was I thinking? Or like, I don't want this thing to be. No one wants it to be like, if it happens in the last tournament, great. But no one wants to like bomb on the first tournament, because you're like.
I mean,
granted, we still have 2
see,
divisions.
but there's an elephant in the room here, and I just go ahead and clear it up. I know we don't have all night to talk about this, but like, we took a chance. We quit FLW. We came to Bassmaster to try to qualify for the Elite Series. We were in the same exact situation, fishing the FLW Pro Circuit and fishing the AAA level to go try to qualify for their Major League Bass Pro Tour, or whatever it's called.
Right.
So, in essence, we're still fishing at the exact same level that we were over there.
That's right.
Now.
Okay.
And honestly,
But-
and you guys will agree with this, this was the math that I did on it. You know, I mean, that over there was going to be a 2-year plan for 10 spots, right?
Absolutely.
This with 225 boat fields, no matter how good you are or whatever, I mean, even whoever could not make it. So, 225 boat fields, but there's 24 spots available over 2 years here.
Yep.
And 24, when you look at finishing in the top 4 of the points out, 225 sounds pretty like wow. But when you look at 24 spots over the next 2 years, it seems pretty doable, right?
That seems doable, but here's the deal: you can bomb any tournament you wanted to over on FLW in 2 years, and you can still make it. Like, you can bomb. Thrift bombed Seminole and made, like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
but not many guys are Brian Thrift.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it's gonna be, you can't bomb one. You can't bomb one.
Well, and the other thing is we only have 4 tournaments to average out of instead of 7.
That's my point.
And
that's why I said you can't bomb one.
But I mean, if you look at it like this too, is say for instance they're taking 12 people each year from the Opens to the Elite Series. So when those 12 qualify, you're taking those 12 out of the equation. So if those 12 are, let's just say a Scott Martin, a you, Bradley, you're taking those out of the equation. So that's taking more talent out of the field for the second year. It does it every time.
You want me to bring up some people who might be fishing this in 2 years?
Hey, we can't speak in hypotheticals. Like, just because there's 30 people from one organization fishing the Opens.
The roster's out there. It's public. I mean, anybody can go look at it.
I mean,
BSS posts the roster, which I think is a cool deal. I've never seen a tournament organization actually post a roster of the field that's coming. U.S. Open does it. I know Billy does it out on the West Coast.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I know the Bassmaster's doing it also with the Opens now, and that's a cool deal.
And you're signed up for the U.S. Open, right?
I am, and I was informed the other day that I won't be able to fish it.
Dude, we got an Open on Rayburn.
Is the same weekend.
It's like
I thought I could roll from Rayburn and go out there.
Dude, it's like 26
Billy, we
hours.
may have a problem.
Yeah.
It would be.
I looked at it because someone asked me to fit. Like, it's bad.
I want to go to the U.S. Open bad.
I
thought it was a Costa that conflicted.
Well, hold on. You're right. It is. It's not an Open. The Open's in September. The Costa's in October.
Yeah.
And we can't fish all the Costas anyway.
Man, I like those West Coast guys a lot. I want to go hang out with them.
Well, the Open, so...
It's not the Open. I apologize. It's the Costa.
Okay,
It's
so I
it's
can't-
mid October.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just give a big shout out to my wife because of that, because she has everything like insanely scheduled out
Yeah.
to know exactly when I'm there, when I'm not, and all that stuff. So like,
I do all that myself.
My wife's like the week before. You leaving today or tomorrow?
yeah, no, mine. So mine's going through nurse practitioner school right now. So like, she's in clinicals and all that stuff. So like, her family's helping out, my family's helping out.
That's
so,
cool.
and she's working full time, and we have Kane. So like, it's kind of a cluster this year.
Right.
And on top of that, we're starting over. I mean, basically, like,
We're starting over.
yeah. I mean, we fished. How long have you fished the tour? Or how long?
4
did
years
you?
on the FLW tour, 6
And
years
I
on
was
the
8.
Elite Series.
I was 8 on the tour, and you were
Big
going
deuce.
into your 3rd. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
all. I just went back to doing what I've always done, I guess.
I just don't remember even doing this. Like, it's been a long time.
Mm.
8 years. I mean,
Man,
that's-
I have always just like, what you guys have too. I mean, God, you just won the Coast Championship. You just fished the BFL. We're kind of the same that we've always just fished, no matter
Just like
what
to
it
go
was.
fishing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've always
There's
fished
got,
tournaments.
yeah, there's got, like, it
Um,
always weirds me out when I'm like, man, you're semi like that. You're not as bad as you used to be, but like some guys, like, man, it's freaking August, September, and they don't get in their boat again until like next February.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but that's,
I fit-
that's some of your hardcore hunters, though.
well,
I mean,
no, it's just some people, whatever. Like, I got back home, fished some team
Right.
tournaments already, fished the BFL. As soon as I get back from here, I mean, I got team stuff.
Now, I get tired of the bass fishing, you know, and I'm older than you guys, and I've been doing it longer, but I don't get, I still want a crappie fish, and I still want a saltwater fish, you know, and that's kind of where I get my juices.
I gotta go make a paycheck.
I get that too.
I mean, speaking of the paycheck, Bradley and I are teaming up this year.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna get kind of ugly. Just saying. We
Someone-
we saw the new.
Someone wanted to fish with you. Oh, Watson.
Yeah.
Watson was like knew about the TTO because they were gonna Tag's gonna
James.
Tag's gonna get involved with the incentive deal. And he was like, I need to come fish these things. I'm like, yeah. He's like, who could I fish? He's like, I'll call it Hallman. I'm like, taken. He's like, I gotta get somebody. I'm like, you better. He's like, I think I can swing that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some guys fish that thing. It looks.
I mean,
it looks
TTO,
really
like,
good.
we looked at the schedule in the room together, and he talk about somebody got fired up about a team trail. That's some gun when he saw the schedule because he hadn't seen it yet.
Is that TTO?
Yeah,
What
the
we're talking
TTO. Yeah,
Yeah, I got fired up about that one.
yeah.
You like that?
We're a little, yeah.
Oh, God.
I put that schedule together.
You did well, son.
Thank you.
You did well.
That's a good one. It's gonna be
Upshaw
fun.
said, how are we going to do? And I said, we're going to start off with a bang, and then we're going to go.
Oh yeah, person's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it is. Person's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Jeff Reynolds, if you're paying attention, it's going to be fun.
They didn't. That's not who you need to worry about. Brent Broussard and Kelly Owens.
They did win it last
They
time.
won it last time.
That's
Did
right.
they really?
Blew it out.
Yep.
Sure did.
That's interesting.
We got us a fourth.
Brent Broussard.
I miss Brent.
They had a hot dock.
They had
What's
a,
the word on the
They had a
street?
hot couple ducks.
That was the word on the street.
So
It
that's
will
all
not be
takes.
like that again. I want to say, if I remember, there was a story. Like, I can't remember the exact story, so I don't want to get it wrong. But I think they broke one off in practice. Like, it got hung up while they were trying to shake it off,
Kind of remember this, yeah.
and he caught it, and it had his warrant. It was a 6.
Yeah.
And he catches it. He
In the
catches it in
tournament.
the tournament with the hook, with their bait still in there.
It's a good week.
I mean, I feel
Like a
that.
6,
That's
like-
what happened
like-
to me at Cherokee. I mean,
Really?
I caught one of mine that still had a worm that broke off in it.
Really big one.
No, it was like 3 something, but I mean, it helped. Had a wacky rig still stuck in
You
it.
know, like a 3.
Three
Remember-
something.
Remember what those were like on day 1? Because you don't on day 2. I know I didn't either.
No, that was.
He was talking about Cherokee, not Cumberland.
Yeah.
Oh, Cherokee.
Yeah,
Cherokee.
no.
Oh,
Cherokee,
yeah.
catching bed.
I can see that.
Yeah, those things were like suicidal.
But it's the same as it's always been. It's traveling the country. It's good weather, and we get a wet line, and it's what
We all got I got sunburned today.
I did too. It was
Dude, it's freaking
phenomenal.
yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and now we get to go back.
No buff,
yeah.
no sunscreen, just
No,
straight
I had
up
a buff.
burn.
I had a
I
buff.
went straight
Not
burn.
Todd, no. Straight burn.
Yeah, you got
I mean,
you would think in your old age you know.
I made it
We were
this,
talking about that
Safety
today.
first.
I made it this long, man. You made it this long.
We're
good.
like hillbillies, man. We're like the only 2 guys left at a meeting that's got like the coon eyes and stuff.
No,
Everybody else is
I
sitting there.
have that, but I also have the buff line.
You got it right now.
Yeah.
I'll have the
Todd's
marks.
got it really good.
Yeah, that's whatever.
His nose gets real red.
Well, 11 o'clock. Probably end it. Tell us what y'all think. If y'all want to hear more stories, if y'all want to hear more Andrew, if you want Andrew not to ever show up on these things again, let us know.
Or if there's something
Let
y'all
Hallman
want,
go to bed. It could just be Andrew.
That's
Todd.
or if there's something y'all want us to talk about, or if there's a topic.
Trust me, we will get on it too.
I mean, no topic's too hard.
These guys are digging on controversy.
You know, it's not even that. Like, it's just.
I just want people to understand what, like,
Dude, I
different
totally
view.
I
Here's
think
a
everybody
topic.
watching gets it.
here's a topic that we'll bring up next time. It's like the number one thing I used to hate. I hate it when people make comments about things that they actually don't really know, like the whole story, like what's going on. They're like chances are, if we talk about something, it's not because we're guessing on it. It's because we've probably talked to 50 other people. We know every backstory. We know people in the industry with the meetings and all this stuff. So when we have an opinion, it's not an opinion. It's like, this is probably what went down, but we're not really supposed to talk about it. I hate it when someone was like, well, this is what so-and-so is doing. And they're like, you don't even know what they're talking about. But we'll get on that later. But yeah, so if y'all want to know about something, good thing one of us probably knows something about it.
Yeah.
We just usually tend to keep quiet about it because it.
But you know what?
Like
we're the new bass angler therapy, right?
Yeah, so it's all, man, no one's gonna watch this.
No, nobody's gonna watch.
14 views.
I'm thinking at least 21.
Ooh.
The deal is they won't watch it longer than 25 seconds, though.
So
Off with the head.
They're like,
That's
okay,
true.
this is super boring.
Straight to Netflix.
Straight to Netflix.
I don't know why you're just
All right. We're out of here. Good night.
Why did that thing keep going?
Because of my camera kept shutting off, and I couldn't tell you why.
It's because you need a new chip in there, a reformatted chip.